still hear me?
YouTube.
Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. All right. So we're going to start it again. And Cryptid Wrangler, we have Mike again with us because he's got so much to tell us about. So, and I don't see anybody again. So we have a sponsor, Rustic, who I said I would mention before too.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
whoever
Larry,
was
he's a
first in the,
pretty good guy.
yeah, oh yeah. If whoever was first in the chat, we would just send that to him. Mike, I guess that's you. I'll send you something. Oh, here we go. All right. Oh,
I'm
get
seeing
it.
two
All right.
people down there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank God. She wins. She.
Oh, one that we did, the recorded version had several views, but the live,
It was afterward.
yeah,
Hey, Cindy,
one had
good
like
to see you.
129 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And did you see who that was from?
I can't remember which one it is.
A
There's something up here,
couple
like
of
a
our
message
favorite
or a
people.
comment, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But right when you took off, me and Mike was talking about how the dog man and Bigfoot sightings have really picked up.
Oh yeah.
In his neck of the wood, well, all over really, but
All over. Yeah. It's actually tripled the amount of reports I'm getting in. So
Wow.
that veil is thinning.
Yeah.
So Mike.
okay, Ohio was number 1.
Yeah,
Michigan
Ohio
was number 2. Kentucky was in 3rd, and then Tennessee followed. And then Indiana was in the top 5, believe it or not.
Man.
Yeah, that blew
On
me away. That
Bigfoot,
Ohio,
all them
Ohio. I
states.
mean, I knew they were out there, but I didn't know that it was like everybody seen them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And that's both cryptids. That's Bigfoot and dog.
Yeah, both. Yeah, yeah. I
That's-
got to get out to Riverside. That's got to be out there. Anyways, Mike, we're here for you, buddy.
Hey.
Tell us about you again,
I'm
just
glad
to
to
make sure that everybody knows if they didn't see the other live stream. So you said you were what? 20 minutes outside of the LBL? Or
20
was
to
it
30, depending on which part and where I'm going. Yep.
20 to 30? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn here. Okay. And you've already had sightings when you were in there, right? When you were with Daryl and
Man.
well, both of your Pathfinder group too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've and there were actually some at the Pathfinder group. You know, we had a base camp. We had several groups out in the field in a mile radius, and the base camp had some visuals. I had a sighting in the area probably a month before. We got a real bad cold snap, and it pushed us off our original mission date. But I'd had a good sighting, got some video of it. But it's it's the blob stuff. It was over 100 yards away, of course. Had a great and spook encounter with Martin. Martin and I and Big Ray, we were there. I guess it was January. All these dates are running together, but that was a dogman thing, and that's not my favorite thing. But that's what Larry and I were talking about. You know, up until 2020, I had been in that park since 1988, almost on average, probably multiple times a week since 1988, and never had any. You hear a few stories, but since 2020, man, this place is just and it's not just for us. There's lots of other people reporting stuff. We just had a great dogman report. The lady, I just saw her reel on Facebook, but her and her daughter saw one, and she came right out and said, I'm going to do this once, and that's it. I know what I saw. It's changed my life. I don't care if you believe me or not. Just sharing this because you need to know what's out there. And there's no chance she was lying. No chance. Yep.
Yeah. Is that the one that was saw in a cemetery, Mike? A woman and her daughter.
No, she was.
I was reading about an encounter. Had seen one in a cemetery. I didn't know if it's the
This
same
was
one or
that
not.
was on. I don't think so. I think they were at Wrangler's camp. They were riding horses, and there's been a lot. Strangely enough, there's a ton of sightings of dogmen around that place.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's that at? The Wrangler camp. Where's the? Is it middle?
Wranglers? Yeah. It's yes. Center would be a great way to describe it. You know, you've got the Highway 6880 is kind of the dividing line in the middle. It is south of Highway 6880, but only a couple miles. So it would, you know, if you went a couple miles down and a couple miles up, that's what you would call the central part. And yeah, it's probably one of the most. And then right there, kind of across from it, it's on the Barkley side. On the Kentucky side, you've got Turkey Bay, which is the designated off-road vehicle area. And
oh, really?
That whole strip there west, yeah, it gets a ton of traffic, ton of people, probably some of the biggest draws. And then just right to the north, right off 6880, you've got the Bison Range.
Yeah.
So I would say, I don't know what percentage, at least 50% of the people that frequent LBL are probably there for one of those three areas, and they're all within spitting distance of each other, it seems like.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
And I get so many people wanting to know more about the LBL, and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll have Mike back on and Daryl back on.
Well,
so yeah. In fact,
yeah.
Cindy Giggles is one of the ones that's curious about it too. So that's why she's
any questions
in right now.
Okay.
I think we're losing you, Mike. You there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You got it. Okay, good. So yeah, no kidding. And so yeah, what you were talking about with Larry again? You were where they were going to Dogman and Bigfoot. There was certain places they were going to. So it's not necessarily the Dogmen in the south and Bigfoot in the north, like they say.
No. They'll be right together. And what's crazy about that is, you know, I had my Bigfoot sighting in the north end. And that's famously, if you believe the massacre story, and I believe something happened there. The details, you know, are always going to be debated. But if something happened, if you attribute it to a dogman, that was in the north end.
Yeah.
But now the dogman experiences I've had have probably come down to two, where I at least heard the growling and the walking. One in the north end, one in the south end. The scary stuff to me seems to be more in the south end. Honestly, I think
really, gosh,
places down there I just don't want to go. But with the exception of DeMumbers Bay up in the north in the Barkley end, that place just creeps me out. I almost physically can't stand to be in that place very long.
Yeah, wow. Martin was saying that same thing, where it's just something out there and something always watching you. And gosh, but Larry,
got a bad vibe when you go up there. Huh?
Yeah. Well, and like you were saying, Larry, that there's what 250 cemeteries above and below waterline out there.
Yeah, it's probably closer. It's probably closer to 300 if you count the ones that. And that's always a local question. Now I remember it was after Poltergeist came out, which was, you know, famously they moved the headstones, not the bodies.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, especially the kids in high school when I was here in school in the late 80s, we always wondered about that, because there's one famously visible headstone that at Winter Pool in the middle of the lake down in the south end comes up, and you can see it. And then there's several undiscovered, unmarked. They're still finding them. I know where there's actually, I've stumbled across one myself. So just on the paranormal, the lore around cemeteries, as far as disturbing sacred ground, hallowed ground, special ground, and probably going back to we did that with the Native Americans that were there as well. So I always attribute a lot of the spookiness just to that, just to those few facts.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, it's funny
is
because
there like Indian burial grounds underwater
yeah,
there too? That's
Most likely. So here, here's what you've got. Right to our northwest, you've got what's called Wycliffe Mounds, and that was mound builders, very sacred ground, right on the banks of the Mississippi. A little more up to our north, you've got the Shawnee National Forest, right across the Ohio River. I'm on the east side. My property here has all the hallmarks of. There's a thing they talk about, if you find blue clay, that's actually a burial ground. So I've got a spring and a cedar grove. I've got some stuff on my property 20 minutes east. I found tons of arrowheads and artifacts. So the land between the lakes is circled by well-known Native American mounds, hunting grounds, burial grounds, occupied areas, the Trail of Tears. So it's just got to be there. I don't know exactly where they are. I think you got to remember, people have to remember, LBL was logged. Land between the lakes had stores, churches, schools, service stations, post office, airports, ferry operations. It was several thriving communities in that place. So what you see now, like probably, I don't know what percentage of the trees, 75% of the trees that are in there, I call them old girls. So you'll be walking through and you think a tree that maybe you can barely not wrap around is old. It's not. And you get one of these where it takes 3 of you to wrap around it. That's one of the old girls that's been there since before. So I don't think we'll ever know exactly what was there, but common sense has to tell you there was a strong Native American presence there.
Definitely. Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Especially around where I'm at too. Like I was telling Larry, I think up towards the north is Irvine. And it used to be all farmland and strawberries and stuff like that. And they started building homes and they started digging up these burial sites. And they stopped and they said, okay, we need to notify them. They need to come back and they needed to, figure out where they're going to move them and all that stuff. And they did. And there's never been any problem. Well, Mission Viejo, where I'm at, was owned by Philip Morris Company. And they said when they started coming up across these same graves, they said, screw it, plow them. And now, across the street, I can see an Indian from my house. And I'll catch him out of my eye every once in a while. So, yeah, I had a buddy that actually looked all that up. And I'm just going, no way. I'm just like, no way. It can't be. Yeah, it was. So, crazy. Oh, my gosh. But, Larry, you were saying too was, I think you're thinking of Martin's book where there was a woman that was in a cemetery with her daughter, and you can see dogmen walk out of the trees. Like, I think, I'm not sure if he gave you a time or whatnot, but he said it was out there enough to be able to take pictures of it. And he was going to put it in his book. I think might have been in the third one. If not, maybe probably the next one. So, but yeah, no, gosh. And so you're a hunter. Wait, you're a hunter, or I know you're fishing. Out there?
So it's the strangest thing. I was until I'm with my current wife, a dedicated squirrel hunter, and I always test myself, but I tell people I'm trained to see little bits of movement and little things that maybe if you're used to hunting larger game you don't look for. But I stopped that. I used to I've killed deer. I've hunted everything, birds, rabbits, all the stuff. I let all my fish go. A squirrel is delicious, and I could shoot a couple and be eating them within the hour.
No
and
kidding.
after I killed my first, Yeah, and after, yeah, you can skin them and put them in the oven and fix them any way you want. But I killed my first deer, and I was planning on, of course, now I was 16 years old and had never shot a deer. My father, we had bought 80 acres down in Marshall County, and I'm thinking I'm going to be eating deer steak tonight, you know. And then I learned,
Yeah.
oh no, you've got to process it and you've got to do all this stuff, and maybe a month or two later you get your. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, that kind of kills the whole vibe.
Yeah. So I
I
I
walk
love
in
squirrel
cooler,
hunting.
I hang mine in.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
right,
mean, there's
Larry. You do hunting.
yeah.
Uh oh.
So I do more fishing now. Fishing is my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll stick with fishing too. I'm not sure I could kill deer or anything like that.
Yeah.
Married
Well.
to a vegan, so
Oh
we
well.
don't
There
even
you
allow
go.
that in the
There.
fridge. Yeah. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
yeah,
go
it's
I go
interesting.
take at least 2 a year.
Oh
But
yeah.
There you go.
I feed some needy families around me with
Oh
them.
yeah.
So
That's important.
I tell you a funny story, and I always do it. Randy Brooks is with me a lot, and again, I second guess myself, but I pick up like you were saying, catching the Indian. So we
Mm,
got to the site, the Pathfinder site, the other morning. It was just me and my daughter, and base camp was set up at the base of a ridge, but you could look over and you could see there's a big field. It was just full of tall grass, and it went very far back. And I went over to my Jeep to get my chainsaw, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement in the back of that field. And I start staring and waiting, and I'm thinking, am I really going to see something? I've been here 15 minutes. And
yeah.
I stood there, and it took a few minutes, but out of this field rode a woman on a bicycle with a big pack on. And she rode right by us, was very friendly. It was early in the morning. She waved. We found out later they had a big adventure race in
Oh.
a yeah, and they were wrapping that up. But I mean, I knew, I saw just a glint at the back of that field. I knew it, and so I test myself a lot, but I do pick up on, maybe that might be why I see things, because I do pick up on little movements that maybe not all people do. So
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a hunter, you get that.
yep, yep.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. Yeah. Gosh. I'll stick with fish. Fish and Indians.
That's it.
Fish
But
are a lot easier to get out.
yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Easier to clean too, unless you live where I'm at. Then you got algae growing up so much, kills
Right.
everything.
No.
Uh, but let's see. So
On the
go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Larry. You got
David.
a question?
Oh, no, on the where me and Mike, while you were fixing the thing so we could go live, me and Mike were talking about, how all the states that the sightings, I mean, it's all across the US, but Indiana, Kentucky,
Yeah.
Ohio, Tennessee, all them states connect, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why it's so prominent in that area. I don't know if it's a breeding thing or a military thing, or it's weird. But
They're
yeah,
starting
no.
to
What's that?
Brandon's saying they're starting to see more dogmen and Bigfoot up north too, northern part of Indiana.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's weird. It's everything just is booming. And it's weird because it's kind of in that ideal area of things with the veil
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah,
mean I've heard several people say, "Oh my gosh, that veil's thinning because something big is about to happen."
yeah, it's thin, big time.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Matt and I talked about it, and there's something that's eerie that's going to be huge. I thought it was this war, but I'm thinking it's bigger than that. So, might be God coming down and helping us
no,
out and taking us back.
It
yeah,
So,
uh,
jeez.
it leans towards that. Yeah. If you're a Bible believing person, which I am,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of stuff lines up that way. It really does. So
yeah. Gosh.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna try to come out there and do.
Try to
No, go ahead.
connect Bigfoot and Dog Man with UFOs and aliens.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
who's to say the Bigfoot? Yeah, he might be tied into that, but
yeah,
they've always been called guardians.
Right.
So it could
yeah.
be they're
Could
keeping
be.
them away from us or something.
Yeah, yeah. I get so many people. Why do people constantly say they're worried about dogmen killing them? I'm like, it's not as bad as
That's
people make it out to
longer.
be. I think it's the whole story in itself, but there's not many attacks. It's mostly scares, and that's about it, which is good.
Yeah. No, I noticed about, I really loved all the shows that were on TV
Yeah,
about all that stuff. But, I always said, even before I had my sighting, they're doing it for effect on television, because the fact is, you're sitting here talking about it. And now that I've seen these things move and been in the woods with these things,
yeah,
they want, I've said it on probably every show I've been on. If they wanted you, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Point. Yep.
and they'll always have one that's out front and then others behind you.
Oh
So
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
there's more than
Absolutely.
one.
yeah.
Always.
Well, and Larry and I were talking to David, who's going to be next week, and he's got an incredible picture where you see a dogman head on one side of a tree, and then 2 or 3 trees over, you'll see a Sasquatch standing there, and I think there's another one that was behind
I
that.
think
Was it
2
Larry?
dogmen and a Sasquatch, but
Yeah,
they were watching. He had a trail camera set on a place where deer were feeding,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's right.
it captured it. But they were
Man,
watching them deer.
that's
All we
crazy.
have to do is buy the premium package now, so we can put it up on the screen.
Yeah,
My God.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's obvious. The one, I mean, boom, it's right there, and then you got the looking, and dang, there's
Yeah,
another one. Daniel
yeah.
found like 3, maybe in
Yeah,
there,
there's
4.
I saw like 3 or 4 of
But the
them
one, he's got his hand on the tree, and he's leaning
peeking.
out, watching
Yeah,
this deer feed. There's actually
tree
2 deer
peeking,
feeding in the field,
and they don't have a
and
clue. They
yeah,
have
they
no
don't
idea
have a
that there's
clue
a
that
water.
they're there.
Yeah, yeah. Gosh.
All them states we're talking about are big agricultural states:
Right.
corn, cover, water source.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, the corn alone
something,
would be deer, and that's the main food source.
Yep.
but
Dang.
something's making them reveal themselves more than they ever have before.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I don't know.
I wish I
I
had
don't
the
know.
answers to that one. Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I think the activity is, definitely picking up. I think there are more people. I think we're more aware of it. I do know that just in 2020 with COVID, it's the first time in my life, again, being a lifelong fisherman and doing like most of us and getting a lot of stuff at Walmart, you would have Walmart sold out of outdoor equipment. It's like that's where
Really?
everybody, that's where everybody wanted to go. Everybody wanted to go outdoors, at least around here. So I
Yeah.
think, the sport utility vehicle, 4-wheel drive vehicles, I think there's more people out. There's more
Yeah.
people with cell phones. There's more means to report this. Social media, you can have something out in a matter of seconds after it happens to you. So I
Yeah.
do think you have to consider those factors. But if they've been here with us and they're obviously procreating and making more of themselves, that has to be some type of a factor as well. So I think all those combined, I think that's why
Yeah.
we're having. And I always go back, because people say, well, if they're interdimensional, if they can get in another dimension, why are they here? Jesus ate while he was here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you're wrapped in a physical body and you're rolling around as a physical being, whether or not you have the ability to change that, you're probably going to have physical needs that you have to take care of. So I think that's just common sense. If you
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
if you look at it in that lens, it doesn't shock. That's not even a factor. Why would they be
Yeah.
here
It makes
hunting?
sense.
maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
Anyway,
gosh. Yeah. No. Good. Yeah. It's I get a lot of questions from people saying, "Hey, how come you don't ask about these things?" And it's nice that you're here to be able to remind me of some of those things that are out there. And but yeah, somebody had said, was it you, Mike, that somebody was out there in the LBL and they saw something and they lost their eyesight, and then there was another person that was with them that ended up going partially blind. Oh, it was Barton. Uh, Nunley.
yeah, I tell you what, Martin has and I told people I'm reluctant. I think Phil used that reluctant guardian, but I've said
Yeah.
I'm a reluctant researcher or experiencer. Martin has taught me so much because I just knew what I needed to do and did what I needed to do to understand this so I could continue to be out there with my family and my friends and enjoy the life I have for so long. And so I was just kind of pulled into this. And I know, I was fortunate enough to be on a Fresh Face on Small Town Monsters
Yeah.
and got a little,
Yeah.
publicity. I don't want to say credibility. I want to say publicity over that. But so I'm learning as we go. I don't know all the stuff. LBL is so big. Sometimes there's places that I do know. I've got these maps behind me. Sometimes I have to look on the map, because
Yeah.
I'm focused on my areas. But yes, Martin has shared those stories with me. It's pretty common. After he shared some, here's the neat thing about Martin. He has shared stuff with me and not known. I've had these conversations with my father, and my dad had a stroke a few years ago, and he had just started seeing stuff in Land Between the Lakes too, and he didn't believe in any of the stuff,
Yeah.
paranormal, Bigfoot, any of that, and stuff started happening to him, and I was wondering if that's why he might have had his stroke actually when we talked about this, and I didn't share this with Martin, but then Martin, just as conversation goes, starts telling me that people have seen this thing that my dad thinks he saw, and they've had strokes, heart attacks, gone blind. It has imprinted on them where they feel like it's just in a room with them and they can see it.
Yeah.
And
That.
and I mean, it's almost like Martin has had my phone tapped. The only possible way is if he had my phone tapped and was listening to this stuff my dad and I were talking about. So man, he knows. And I always give credit to him. Barton Nunley is one. Barton Nunley has been in the park, and they know all those stories and all those things. And
Yeah.
I learn from them.
I was
That's a,
just talking to Daryl. I think it was
a good
yesterday,
tool.
and we were talking, and I had said, I wonder if because I notice people will see it and then they'll get sick, whether cancer or something, and so it's like I think I said something about Scott Carpenter, about he had all these things basically on Big Brother, and um, he passed away as a stroke too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was, probably 5 years after the book that he had written about, the Nephilim are out there, that I started to wonder. I'm on, okay, well, if that could happen, it could have happened to, you know, so many other people. And yeah, that Martin was telling me about that too. He's a good guy. He's so open, you know. If you know him, he'll tell you stories, and you just be like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy,"
yeah,
But
yep.
it's true.
It,
Gosh,
you
yeah.
know, Daryl. The neat thing about Daryl, the first time, and I've shared this before. So the first time we met, and that I had met Martin in person.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Then you locked
Well,
up.
wonder how he locked up. Must have been his.
Yeah, it was his. That's all right. We'll get him back.
Oh,
He may have to sign on again.
Yeah, you might have to
Giggles, now
back out
what?
and go back through.
Cindy's is going to help us with some of this. I just haven't had the time to do anything.
Yeah,
All right, let's see if we can get him
I feel you.
back.
I just think I had the energy lately that I normally have.
It's kicked
But
up.
it's warming up. People are saying, "Hey, you still service mowers and stuff?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, for the right
there he is.
price. I ain't gonna get too crazy about it."
There he is.
I'm
You
back.
hear us? Got it.
Yeah.
You
That's
froze
a good
up for a
recovery
second.
because I've had to see somebody start all the way over again to come back in. So
No, my personal phone got too hot for some reason, so
yes. Mine does that when it's charging. It
I
just
think I'm
shuts.
getting ready to buy a tablet.
well,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
need
Just
to.
do
I
yourself.
need to. This is on my work phone, and I've actually been working because I'm supposed to be at the boat ramp at 7 in the morning for this inaugural bass fishing tournament, and
Cool.
my boat wouldn't start. I think we talked about it. I can't remember if it was when we came
Yeah.
on at, but yeah. So my boat
Yeah.
wouldn't start for the first time ever, and so I work directly for the superintendent of the schools, and her
Yeah.
son was supposed to fish with me. So my boss's son was supposed to fish in my boat, and she's wanting to make it happen. So I'm trying to do double duty here, but
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
Did you test the battery?
oh, it'll turn over. Like I said, it's not. I may go back out there and look. I tried the kill switch. I tried the ignition switch. I checked the battery. The fuses I
Probably
could
some kind of
find.
relay or sensor or something.
It's just like I said. These new ones, when you turn it, you got to wait and listen for the beep. And when the beep stops, it's made all its checks. It's computer stuff. It's computer
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
And you got
Yeah,
to
just
spend
like
money
that
to go out
damn
and.
diesel mower I used to have. You turned the key and you had to wait for it to beep and the glow plugs heat up before
Yep.
you could go.
Yep.
Well, you got gas prices like out here. You don't have to mow your yard once a year. It's too expensive otherwise.
Round
I'd
up.
let mine go. I tell you what, I would.
Yeah.
Drive my wife crazy probably, but man, I
It's
couldn't
not
take
worth
it.
it. We can't afford it right now.
Right,
When,
right. But
when I worked at a power equipment place, just about every piece of equipment come through there, it said not for sale in California. If it
Yeah.
run on gas,
wow,
Well,
not
nobody can
compliant.
afford it in California.
yeah.
Thanks to Newsom. And
You know what?
Giggles is out here with me. She's out here. She's working at Irvine, so she's right up the way.
Yeah. You know the cool thing about it though is the cool thing about this where we are in this day and age. I just told my boss, the superintendent of the schools, that I'm on a Bigfoot podcast. And
Yeah.
as soon as I'm done, I will go out there and try to make something happen. I think she's trying to find another boat that I could drive if we could borrow it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Priorities, you know.
yeah, yeah. But it's
Bigfoot,
just
boat.
Oh, they know, and they don't really make fun of me. It's great. I feel like
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm fortunate enough, and that's why we were talking about Barton and Martin and Daryl and the ones that have gotten it out. It makes
Yeah.
it easier for people like me and us to have these conversations in these shows. So it's really
Yeah.
a cool thing.
Out here.
I was going to ask,
I would talk
how's
to
your
my
girl
boss,
feel about
and she'd
that
be
when you
like,
go out and
yeah.
possibly see a dog man or a cryptid?
Well, so I don't take the young ones. I've got an older daughter, 21. She just turned 21 or 22. I've got 4 children, 2 older ones and then 2 younger ones. So the older daughter, she's my woods buddy. She loves it. But the younger ones, I don't take them to the dangerous spots. They don't go out at
Yeah,
night with me.
I
But
can understand.
they actually love. So they've heard them scream, they've heard them knock, they've heard them run. My youngest swears she saw one's leg. My middle daughter, she will actually whistle at them and has had return whistles. So
Kidding.
oh yeah, so it's very much our first experience was a family experience, and so we do
Yeah,
it
you
all
were
in
on
the
a boat, wasn't you?
yeah, absolutely. That's where most of our stuff happens is in the boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that. That family where you had all seen it, or interacted with it. You said you were on a boat was the first time, right?
Yeah, and there's been several occasions. There's been one where I haven't really shared it a lot. I think maybe I talked about it on Roger Williams. So the first one, really well publicized. It's been out there. I'll give you the short version.
Yeah.
And I tell people, and it even helped me still. If you go to Kentucky Bigfoot Research Organization's YouTube,
Charlie's.
they labeled it Charlie Raymond. They labeled it the Beast of LBL.
Yeah.
They came out and did a little 20-minute thing, and that night they stayed and they got a knock and they heard the same thing. And this is all on their audio. You can hear it for yourselves. So they heard the same knocks we heard, and they got some great audio of the howls and the things that you can tell are different than the coyotes that you can also hear. So we were just in a bay that we had been forced onto because of the weather. The day before we had been out in good weather, but the weather was not good. The lake was too rough. And we went to a small secluded spot and beached the boat. We were going to make hot dogs. My oldest daughter walked down the bank and fished. The other girls, there wasn't enough bank. They actually stayed in the boat. And I heard walking initially up behind me, and I'd been in, this was one of my areas. And so even before Bigfoot, I loved this place and had hiked this place. So the north-south trail runs the whole length of Land Between the Lakes, and the north end by Kentucky Lake, that's my end. I had hiked I've hiked that whole trail multiple times on that end, because that's the end that always ends up by the lake. When you get into the south end, you go more down the middle and over to
Oh,
Barkley.
okay.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why I was there. So I heard people walking, and I told them, I think there's people coming up behind me. They're about a mile away from the north-south trail, so maybe they're lost or off day. I didn't think there should be people back there, but I just asked them to watch out. We cooked our hot dogs. We were getting things back in the boat, and my oldest daughter said, "What happened to those people?" And I said, I don't know. Maybe they just realized we were down here and moved on off." But as I was pushing the boat off, we heard a knock. And they all look, and what's now watch that. You thought we've heard people, now we're hearing a knock. And so I looked down, and there was a good knocking stick, and I said, I don't know, I guess Bigfoot does that. And I knocked, and
Yeah.
then we got a response down the bank. So
Jeez.
yeah, just immediate, just real loud. And again, go to Charlie, watch this thing. I think it's at the 21 minute mark. You can fast forward through if you don't want to see the whole thing. And but just a clear, really good. So we had been going to go maybe fish on the other side, or maybe even talk about going home. The fishing wasn't great, but we went down to this little cove, and I just looked up there, and there's a spot, and it still does it to this day. The sunlight comes down, and just you're drawn to this spot, and this thing was just standing there,
Jeez.
huge, just wide. And I took a couple seconds to be like, what?
Yeah.
And then I realized this thing is staring at me, and this is different. And so I said, "Holy, there's Bigfoot."
Yeah.
And they're like,
Jeez.
"Where?" And then it moved. It heard me. It understood me. It backed up.
Wow.
And so what I thought was, it did not want to be seen. This whole episode with us, it was just mad. I think it smelled food. It smelled the hot dogs. I think the one warned it. Yeah, I don't know what one knock means, but I think the one was warning it. But I think then when I knocked, maybe that was, it thought I was the other. There was two there. There was two there. We know now. And
Yeah.
we got between them in their communications. But so when I turned the boat, my wife couldn't track it because it was going this way. But then when the bow of my boat pointed out, it came back down. These things I tell people, we're all habituated. Your mind works so quickly. Okay. So like, the word dog, we do this with communication. The word dog, words only mean what we assign to them. Like if I ask you guys if you have a dog, you will describe a furry animal to me. But if I say to you, "What's up, dog?" you will immediately
Yeah.
think I'm trying to be your friend.
Yeah.
That's what our brains do, and they do it. We are used to seeing things that move a certain rate of speed, a certain way,
Yeah.
and they're ahead of that. So her eyes, now I know there's no way she could track it. So it ran back down the hill and then up, and the second one was shaking trees.
Oh, really?
And my oldest daughter was able to see the trees shaking at least. And then as we drifted down the bank and I was hitting the engine, it had come back to the area it was in evidently, and it just screamed at them. And they immediately looked at each other. What was that? That was a scream. And they're like, get out, because I had already told them it had moved off this way. So my wife had assumed if it had come back, we could see the truck and the trailer. So she's thinking it was going to come around and get us. And she's like, get to the truck, get your gun out of the glove box, which we didn't have to, thank God. And I wouldn't have now. And I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. It would have just made it mad.
Yeah. But
it was just frustrated. It was just, so I called Charlie, and he called me back at 11 o'clock at night and thankfully took me out with him. And so now we know that they're watching us, that we're their entertainment, and we've got an area that we go to. This is where my little one, we go in this little cove. We were in the boat, but we were right up against this place. It's so protected. It's so remote. It's really cool. And all of a sudden, a big log, a dead log, comes rolling down the hill. A log that had clearly been on the ground already.
Whoa.
So we look up there, and then we hear running. We hear running, and my youngest daughter, swears she saw the leg of this thing, but we didn't move. And a few minutes later, we start hearing this. The whistles are they're strange. You have to be there. You just have to be there to know it's not a bird.
It's kind of just off of just a little bit, like a mimic that they had done.
And so I've done this. My daughter has done this, and then I've had a buddy that did this again in the boat. So my daughter, I'm like, whistle back 3 whistles. I said, just do 3 whistles, and she just 3 whistles, and it starts mimicking her and coming back with her.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was just really cool. It's then we'd been in another cove, and my friend. So I go out. I take a lot of people fishing. They know I'm into this and have had some experiences, but I don't push it on them. I don't say much to them. And then all of a sudden he hears some strange whistling, and he said, "What kind of bird is that?" And I said, "Well, Michael, his name's Michael Chandler." I said, "Michael, that's not a bird." He's like, "What?" And I said, "Watch this." So I start whistling, and it starts copying me back.
How
and
cool.
I told him, I said, now I'm going to shut it down now. I said, don't look over there. If they think you can see them, they will get totally still, totally quiet. And he's like, what? And he said, do it one more time. So I whistled one more time. It mimicked me. I said, now watch. I'm going to look over there and just stare at it. Let's stare over there like we can see it. Started whistling. It was done. And he was just like, what?
Jeez.
He's like, so he's a total believer now. He's been out with me a bunch. He's one of my oldest friends. I've been friends since I was in high school. So he's experienced some stuff. It's really nice to be out. But yeah, so the boat, I had stuff thrown at me this past year. The girls hear them walking. One was growling, broke a tree on us. And
wow.
Yeah,
that's huge.
No, it's neat. It's neat. It's still kind of scary, still kind of spooky, but I feel like we're safe in the boat. I know they feel like maybe they're safer from us in the boat. So it's just kind of I don't know if they know I'm beginning to think they feel my vibe personally and our vibe personally, and may be able to tell people's intentions and if they can interact or if they can do things safely.
Yeah.
I can't prove that. I can't prove it, but it's made the last 5 years fishing. It's always exciting. If the fish aren't biting, we go try to mess with a Bigfoot or find one or do something.
If they're not biting, Bigfoot might be. So
that's it.
Gosh. That's so cool though.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to get Larry to go with me for this next documentary down there. We're going to do the LBO with Daryl and Martin
Come
too.
on.
So, or
Come
you
on.
guys, you're going. You're
Okay.
going.
All
You're the
right.
good luck charms out there.
I guess.
So,
I guess. I guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. My gosh, yeah. Because I hear stories from Barton, and I talked to Charlie at the conference, and
Yeah.
but it's always Daryl and Martin that have the greatest stories. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
yeah, he's
Martin knows where to go. The thing is,
yeah,
he's interviewed so many people and taken so many interviews, and people seek him out now. So again, it sounds like, yeah, I'm into this. I've had experiences. I write books about it, and coincidentally, I see all this stuff. He
yeah.
knows where to go. I tell people I catch a lot more fish than most people on the lake because I've been doing it
You
so
know where
long.
to go.
I know exactly where to go.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and he's out there.
if they're not there, I leave and go somewhere else that I know to go. So it's just
Yeah.
yeah, they know the spots if you want activity, and he's pointed me at stuff, and he's told me, you go here, you're going to see some weird stuff, and it's the only place I've seen the demonic glowing eyes. And then
Ooh.
he's like,
Yeah.
if you go here, you're gonna probably see dogmen, and it's the first place I've seen a mist of a dogman moving into a tree. It's crazy. And then
Yeah.
heard another one growling, stalking us right outside the firelight. Just crazy stuff.
Yeah. I've heard him go out there and say the Lord's Prayer, and everything just kind of
Yeah.
mellows out and stops. And
Yep.
Once you see
Absolutely.
one, your reality changes. You know what's
Absolutely.
out there.
Yep.
it is. It's a whole
Yep.
mindset of once you're out into a place where you know that people have seen this. It's a whole different world.
Yeah.
You're
There's
ready too. I guess that's part of the reason why we're seeing them more often too, because it's more talked about and more in the back of your mind. Of, hey, if we're there, let's go check this. Could
Yeah.
be a cool place to go. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I wish I was out there. That's the thing is, I talked to Martin and Daryl, and I'm like, damn, I should have moved out there, you know. And
Oh,
so
it grabs a hold of you. It does. I don't know why, but everybody will tell you. It kind of grabs a hold of you. It really does.
yeah. Well, it's funny because when I go back to conference and stuff, it's a totally different world. I
Yeah.
mean, the people, locations, the streets are different, and you get home and you're just going, "Oh my god, this is not like anything else that's around," you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah.
So
like a
yeah, you were which
community of
one?
people.
Yeah, yeah, totally different people too. Just
Yep.
totally nice and directions. And you try that in California, you probably get shot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, you were in which one of the small town monsters? They do an incredible job on all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So I was actually in five of those, and it was
Yeah, I remember seeing
re-
a couple of them with you.
yeah, it was really interesting. They did Alex did Lost in Land Between the Lakes, which is just a really good, between him and Hellbent Holler, and then the few they had on there, just an overall scope of the place. It wasn't just dedicated to Dogman or Bigfoot, so it was excellent. Aaron did, and Shannon LeGros did Dogman Territory, which is actually on Tubi on Amazon. It
Yeah,
was
I've
so
seen that
funny.
a couple times. It's good.
My daughter, my oldest daughter's teacher, was watching Amazon, fell asleep, and when he woke up, he saw my face on his TV, and
It works still.
he texted my wife, and he said, "Is this really your husband on this movie about werewolves on Amazon?" So,
Yeah.
and
Yep, that's him.
yeah, but then
Dogman territory.
yeah, then Eli did a three little segments, just and again, Joe and Jesse, they were really, they did three little segments about just the dogmen and the Bigfoot that are on there. So those five things were really really well done, really
Yeah.
informative, and I was blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's
I watch all their stuff. They're good.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
many people are like, "How? Where do I see this?" And I'm like, first of all, Small Town Monsters. Just go there first,
That's
and
it.
then in your mind, do you really want to see one,
Yeah.
or is it, you know? Because we did that documentary, and Paul and I were talking in Daniel Boone,
Right.
and we had people, Vic Cundiff had said, "Hey, I've got a couple of people that want to go with you," and we're like, "We don't want," because he and I are talking. They want a controlled dogman encounter.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. It's you
No.
get what you get. It's like
No.
you choose whatever you might get. Rogue. You may end up getting something that brings you flowers. You never know. So
Yeah. And once you're there, so Charlie does when he comes down here and does stuff out of the park, he always asks me to come along and just uh, and sometimes I don't always like to be the guide or be in charge. I just like to be an advisor.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but I always end up, and so I took a group, and there was 4 people, and I don't remember them. I wish I did. It was dark. They signed up to come out to this spot, and it's just I had heard them talking in camp, and it was really neat. They wanted to see something. We know now we were right at the precipice of just a probably 200 or 300 foot drop, one of the steepest spots in Land Between the Lakes that I've been on. We didn't know that, and Randy Brooks does a great aggressive roar, and so we're like, let's do a call. I had told him I think the calls come more from the high places than the low places. I'm learning you hear more whoops and clicks and clacks and things from the lower areas, but the howls they want them to reach out. But so he gets up here and he does this howl. It's pitch black. We had walked over a mile. These people aren't from around here. When this thing roared back at us, the fear, just the natural fear. I mean, the one lady who had been so
Weird.
excited about this, done. We're
Game
done.
over.
Just
That
yeah,
was it.
just she because it's just it, and that was just from hearing it roar, but knowing it wasn't a coyote. It was deliberately responding to our provocation, and it was close.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
so people don't understand it. I mean, it's neat to come on out, but you may get
Yeah.
more than you want or you're ready for.
I tell
Yeah.
you what,
Yeah.
I had a place that I hunt, not where I had my encounter, but I heard howls there before. A couple of howls make the hair stand up on your
Oh,
neck,
oh
and you
yeah,
know it ain't a coyote. I've hunted for 40 some years, and a coyote don't make that howl.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez. Now, has anybody seen any of the younger? I forgot what they call them. Either dogman or
Juvenile.
Bigfoot out there, juveniles,
Oh yes, oh
or
yeah,
or even
yep,
that closer to the infants. They've
yeah.
seen them out there with like their mother figure.
Yeah, there's a couple that they've been on some shows here lately. I won't drop their names. I don't know. The people I name drop, they've given me permission to share their names with the stories. And so this couple actually has some experiences with the mother, and they call them the twins. They shared their story at the Golden Pond Distillery event we had a little while ago. I think Elijah Henderson has a well-known report of a mother dog man and the young ones being seen walking behind her multiple.
Wow.
We find suspiciously small prints sometimes. So most of my prints I find are between 13 and 19 inches, and they're between 5 and 8 inches wide. But
That's huge.
occasionally you'll find some that are smaller than that, and you can clearly tell they're barefoot.
Yeah.
The things that indicate the juvenile activity to me is the stick work we find. We find places where if you let 4 or 5 humans go in this certain area, especially little boys, on told us down a ridge top, you would find a shelter, you would find a fort, you would find some designs, you would find some spears, you would find they would do stuff. Humans would do stuff. You get into land between the lakes and you find areas where you can clearly see it's like a classroom, it's like a play area. It's something has been in here making stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
Small stuff, not the huge big stuff, little things, weaving trees together, bending them over. So we take that as juvenile activity, Sasquatch activity as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I read
And
where one encounter where one was like a drawing with a stick or something. It was out in the
Yes,
middle of nowhere, and it looked like he was drawing something and doodling like a human would, but tracks were present that they were a dog man.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I've shared this with Randy, and now he finds them. I'll share this with the world. I don't know if it's a secret. It's one of those things that once you look farther into this stuff, you will find going through the woods in certain areas where something has taken a stick and drug it, and you'll see the drag marks, and then you will find a stick that's maybe this long, maybe this big around, not very big around, talking an inch in diameter, stuck about 3 or 4 inches in the ground. Where whereas when you're walking by as a hunter and you're in a hurry to get squirrel, you think, well, that must have fallen out of the tree and just stuck in the ground.
Stuck in
But
the
stuck
when
in
ground.
the head.
when you analyze them, you realize they're not heavy enough, they're not sturdy enough. There is no chance that something that small and light penetrated 4 inches into the ground. It
Yeah.
just did not happen. And then you
Yeah.
realize something's been playing with these sticks. Something's been dragging this stuff around. It's a cool
Yeah.
thing. So Randy, I walk by this stuff now. I see it so much.
Yeah.
I'll set a target. I'm looking for one thing, and he'll be with me sometimes, and he's like, "Hey, look at here. Hey, look at here. Hey, look at here."
Yeah.
And he's great at finding those sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things
And
where the structures you just kind of that could be
hard
one.
telling
That
how
could be
many I've
one.
walked past over the years and didn't know.
Didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and there was somebody I had heard on a podcast that said they had seen a mom and it was dragging those sticks to cover their footprints.
Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
how true that is, but I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, it sounds like pretty close.
Oh yes.
Like
Oh yeah.
Alaska, where they're taking those big, 200-pound trees, flipping them around
Oh
and
yeah.
shoving them back in the earth, and there's like
Exactly.
5 or 6 of them. Yeah, it's
And
just
and if
crazy
I
to
was
see.
exactly, and see that's the cool thing. If I was watching my dad do something like that, I'd probably grab a stick and try to put it upside down in the ground. Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
a
yeah.
great
No,
observation.
definitely.
Yep. Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so many cool things that I mean, we're still learning everything. I mean, there's could be a ton of things that are out there, and I've got a buddy that's I was telling Larry this that's a Navy SEAL, and I'll ask him, and he's been out to Appalachia, and I don't know for what he won't tell me, but and I said, "Oh yeah, did you see this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we see stuff like that all the time." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Let me tell you this: there are things nobody knows about, and if you knew that those things were out there, you would never leave your house."
That's
And I'm like,
right.
"Okay, like what?" And he's like, "Can't tell you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay." So
That's
you're just
why the
making this up.
government or the state would never say anything. They'll lose their
Yeah,
revenue from the state park
Yeah.
and
yeah,
federal
oh yeah,
park.
definitely. Gosh,
People
yeah,
wouldn't go if they knew what was out there.
Yep.
yeah, oh yeah. And he's like, "Trust me, stop where you're at, and don't go looking for anything else because you're gonna find it."
That's right.
So, and he's a Christian too, so he was telling me, "Hey, this is not made in God's image." And he says they're out there, but they have special tools and stuff. I guess they can see these things. So
Yep.
there's a lot more out there. He said to me, there is, you can be standing one place and there will be hundreds of things around you, just
Oh yeah.
walking spirits and all these different things. And you
Yeah.
start going, yeah, I wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a lot of really crazy things that are out there, and most of them are coming to our attention lately,
Oh yes,
which
yeah.
is
Next,
There's
amazing. Yeah.
there's
So
a reason for it.
yeah. Now, I was somebody had asked if you were the one that had. Oh yeah, you were. I think you were in high school and you're meeting people out there, and you didn't believe it, and you brought something and you heard it and freaked out, and everybody jumped in the trucks and left. Was that
Yeah,
you?
yes. So that was the main reason I was involved with the small town monsters. Is I could just validate hearing about an incident in the park, and at that time it was not known if it was a dog man, and I tell people the serial killings had happened a few years before down in or killings had happened a few years before down in the South End in Dover, near Dover. The
Like
girls were from the
two
two
girls.
like
girls.
humans
Yeah, they
or
were. Yes, they so there was always the issue back then. We were more worried about the people and the ghosts and the witches and things like that in LBL doing stuff. So I have to preface it. I don't know that it was a dog man, but and I met Steve Cossey at the Golden Pond in person for the first time, and he's an expert as well, and he shared some stuff with me, and I shared it with him. My gut feeling from the Jan Thompson story, from my knowledge of Land Between the Lakes, is that it must have happened in the South End, and then I thought, people question her. It, I believe her story. I think she may have taken inspiration from an existing story, possibly, if you believe that maybe she
Yeah.
was just a writer trying to be. But it happened. Something happened. So we always went, and this was 1989. We always went after work and went to a assistant manager's house. She was so great to just we had a lot of land, so we had a campfire. Her house was open. We would spend sometimes the whole weekend there. She just felt like that crew. She felt safer if we were there doing the stuff teenagers do instead of running around getting in trouble. But
yeah.
one night we wanted to, for whatever reason, go out to Land Between the Lakes and have a party and set up there. So a lot of them had gone there during the day and taken just the old folding chairs. I remember there was a couple old tables that folded, and I was bringing firewood. And I
That's
think
right.
there were some tents there was a few tents, but they were in the big bags. But anyway, they had been out there. I had driven my van. I had a big Dodge van. My dad used to let me drive. The seats laid down, made a bed. That's what I camped in.
Me too. Yep,
So
I had one of those in
so
high school.
I remember getting to work, and it was dark, and they said, "Mike, you've got to go get the stuff. We're not camping tonight." And I said, "Okay, what happened?" And they said, "We were putting the stuff out, and there was something screaming at us, yelling at us, coming at us." And they described it, and based on their descriptions, I thought it was a like a mountain lion. And then the guy that they got to go with me, because I had not been earlier, so he said that it was a wampus cat, is what he described it as. And that was I now know that's a real legend and a real thing. I thought he was making that word up. So
Oh, it's
we
out there
did,
supposedly.
yeah. So we drove into the north end, and I tell people we drove into the north end. I know about where it was. I remember going. It was on the Barkley side. And when we opened the van and parked and we're loading the stuff, I heard this thing across the bay, and it's a, but you could feel it.
Yeah.
And Craig, with the guy's name's Craig, he said they called me Smitty. He said, "Smitty, that's it." He was in my van. I
He's
mean,
out of there
door
before you
shut.
got in.
Yeah, oh, door shut. He actually, yeah, he shut the door. He gets in there. He's like, "Come on, come on! It's the Wampus Cat. It's the Wampus Cat." And it was moving. It was moving from across the bay towards us. So I still, at that time, said, "Man, that was a mountain lion. It had a deer down, and then we
Yeah.
just came in, and it was protecting its kill." And a few months later, and I cannot for the life of me remember, but one of the girls that was there did say to me, "Hey, Mike," and in passing, we were coming through the double doors. I was unloading my bus tub. I remember it. And just, "Hey, Mike, did you hear about what happened to that family over there?" I said, "What?" And they said, "Yeah, there was a family killed over there where we were going to camp."
Yeah, jeez.
And I'm like, recently? I
Yeah,
remember saying, and she's like, "No, no, no, I just heard about it that we had been in that, there was something in that area or something." And again, we already knew that those murders had happened in 1980. So again, that
yeah.
wasn't a shock back then.
No,
People,
no,
people dying in the park, that just wasn't a big shock. So I
yeah,
didn't think anything of it until later on, so I tell people, I remember I coached soccer. I coached a girls soccer team in Trigg County, neighboring county to LBL, and one of my girls, if she still is, was very involved in horseback riding. And right before practice, I was walking by, and I remember one of them saying a werewolf. And she was telling a story that one of her friends, that was her riding group, was wanting to run the horse off trail in this field, and a dog man stood up, looked at her, growled at her, and walked off, but spooked the horse, and she barely got the horse under control and stayed on it. So I remember I remember asking my this would have been 2007,
oh
2007 or
yeah,
8. So I remember asking my assistant coach, and my assistant coach was from Trigg County. She said, "Well, yeah, she had actually heard rumors about stuff." She said, "Yeah, there's actually rumors," and that's when I got on YouTube and got on the internet and started really researching this stuff. And again, I saw Barton's documentary
yeah.
not too long after that. So that was my first experience. And I thought, wait a minute, I did
Um,
hear something in the north end of LBL, close to where the supposed massacre site is, that was not natural or not supposed to be there. So,
uh,
yep.
and Joe and Jesse are back there now. I think they're doing a couple of their shows out back in the
They,
LBL again
yeah,
recently.
they,
So
I consider both of them friends, good friends, and I know they were here a few weeks ago. I met up with them, again, I just feel like a resource. They had some questions and I answered them, and glad to help with them anytime. I talk
yeah,
to Joe about once a week. Joe and I just usually text,
yeah,
Facebook text,
uh,
something like that. But it's going to be good. They're on to some. I think they're on to some good
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
definitely.
They're
Yeah,
incredible.
I sat in
Uh,
on their chats quite a bit.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
say
on the
hi, and they
Monday
say hi
nights.
back.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're good,
Yeah,
good folks. Good folks.
one of the best out there. Jeez, especially
Yep.
yeah. I couldn't get my wife out there. She's a veterinarian. She works with
Yeah,
dogs all the time. So
Well, there you go.
yeah, we bring
Yeah.
them home though.
Right. Right.
But yeah, good people, and they're everywhere. I mean,
Right.
North
you
and
know, I
South
might be able to
Carolina.
walk out of my backyard and see a Bigfoot after finding them tracks on my
Oh
brother's
yeah, yeah,
property when we had that
Wow.
snowstorm.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I forgot to tell him about that. You have a buddy out there that you
I
would.
think I sent Mike the tracks too, and Daryl and
Oh
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I went out and looked at them. They weren't faked; they were real, and it was pretty good. It had almost probably a little better than a 5 foot stride,
Wow.
and
yeah.
I think my brother said its track measured like 20 inches long and 7 or 8
Man.
wide. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Pretty
big.
sus. Yeah.
And that was
Wow.
I
going
get
on. There's
questions.
people on social media yelling all over town, "Hey, I got strange tracks around my property. I'm hearing noises and stuff."
Golly.
And you don't want to say anything, is then it opens a whole
Huh?
flood of
Yep.
oh,
Well,
you're one of those
we got
people.
tons of cornfield, woods, and river where I
Yep.
live. There's 3 different rivers that uh, run into each other, and there's probably shit down where there's probably 2,800 acres of woods.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's not in one area; it's split. But I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Jeez.
And,
well,
The thing is,
time?
it's just,
What time are
Go
we
ahead,
on,
Mike.
fellas? Well, my phone is blowing
oh,
up here with this bass fishing
Yeah.
stuff. I told him I would.
oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
Well,
I'm-
we're at an
Oh, yeah,
hour and 10 minutes.
we're at an
Is
hour
that
10.
is that,
Yeah.
does that leave it so we can pick up and do a part 2 sometime?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Sounds
Definitely.
good.
Love to have you back. I get so many questions about the LBL and Martin and Daryl and you. And I was trying to think of them as I was going, but you got most of them. So, yeah, but
Okay.
no, we'd love to have you on a third time.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man.
And we're going to have Daryl and Martin on again here soon, too.
Good deal.
So,
Good deal.
You
yeah.
can have all three of them on. That'd be an awesome podcast.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we could have all three of them and you could see them too.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
just you, Mike, in the middle.
I worked on small engines for 13 years, Mike, plus my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two main things: fire,
Well, yeah.
gotta have spark.
I might holler at you in a few minutes. Then I gotta call
Yeah.
my boss and my coach, my fishing coach, and then we'll see what the plan is.
Perfect.
I don't know
Well,
how new your motor is. It probably still has points and condensers. It's got to
Somewhere.
have something for a spark.
Yep.
And if it ain't getting spark, it ain't gonna fire. It'll sit
You
there and
got it.
crank.
That's right. That's
If it
what
ain't
I'm
getting
thinking.
fuel, it won't fire. So
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
out and check
now
all
rule
that. I
them
think.
two out. Go
Yep.
from there. It could
Yep.
be a fuse though. There's fuses on some of that equipment.
No telling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can give me a yell. I always checking my messenger out.
I'll
do it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No problem,
Mike,
brother.
thank you, brother.
All right,
appreciate
guys.
it. I'm glad to have you back. Well, yeah, we'll
You have a
definitely
good
have you back
weekend,
on.
Mike.
Okay,
You
y'all
too,
too.
Good luck
This was
fishing.
great. I'm sorry I got to jump off, but we'll look
That's
forward to the
fine.
next time.
I've
Life
been
happens.
in LA and it's
Good-
been 95 degrees. So
Good
I'm
luck
like,
with that, and
burnt.
I hope the fishing thing goes well.
Yeah. Catch one for
Yeah.
me.
I'll do it, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Mike.
Bye.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, see y'all.
Bye.
That
That's
was
a good one.
podcast.
Yeah.
I like
get
Mike.
so
He's a good old boy.
Oh, yeah. I get so many questions about, ask him this, and did this really happen? And I mean, yeah, the
He was
LBL
right
is,
across from where the supposed massacre happened. He
Yeah.
might have been hearing it. He
Yeah,
might have been
he
hearing the
is. Yeah, he
actual
was sad.
massacre.
Yeah,
That's
he's our age. Yeah, so it would be, so he would be,
Because
what?
right, I think it was 89 when that happened, right around there. What's weird?
Yeah,
That's when I had my
89.
encounter in 89.
Oh yeah, so that's how you remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
But
gotta have him all
him
back.
being
We
across
have
the,
gotten
that's
some
just
great.
blows my mind
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that he could have actually
I
heard
always
what was
believed.
going on there.
Yeah, I've always believed that there's something had to have happened, regardless, cover up
I'm like you
or
when you get ready and you want to, like on Saturdays for hour, we could go
Yeah.
over who we had as guests and talk about it and
good
see
idea.
if we get people commenting on it.
Yeah,
Because I know when
on
they see
weekend
our
would be
cast
better.
on YouTube, they can go
Yeah.
make comments and like and stuff then and view it. So if they don't do it
And
live.
Giggles, you're our winner. Whoever signed up on the chat first was gonna get the rustic design.
Who was it,
And
Daniel?
I was Cindy Giggles from she's one of our admins and stuff for
Is it?
the paranormal and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
There's
went
some
with
of
her
them groups
to-
I don't get.
I don't get
If
much
I
of a chance
post
to
in
do it.
it, I have to wait for approval. But there's two. I think the Wranglers and then the one folklore where you had me come in being men.
Oh
Miss
yeah.
and that one.
I was thinking
Those
we would have
two,
gotten
I don't
more.
have to have approval. I could just post.
Oh yeah,
This week's been kind of crazy. I've been on there posting a few things, but
yeah. I was thinking that would do a lot better, but I guess not. So, That's
We
all right.
need to start
I'll tell you.
mentioning it maybe on the podcast. And
Yeah. Now, Cindy Giggles is. I'm on her paranormal team. We were just up at the Biltmore in L.A. The hotel that's
yeah,
Black Dahlia and the doctor that and the murders that they found her dead and whatnot. So we got some
yeah,
crazy answers for Black Dahlia and the doctor too. So
yeah.
we're gonna
Could
have
be something.
them on too. We're gonna start having
It's a
I don't know, one
paranormal too.
a
Yeah.
weekend of some sort,
Yeah.
where we can sit and talk and ask questions and whatnot and
Wish
whatnot.
I
So
wish Phil
yeah,
wasn't so busy so we could talk to him and get
yeah,
tips from him.
yeah.
And but his
He's got two
platform, I'm
shows
sure he
too.
don't use SteamYard. He might have started out with StreamYard, but he's not
Yeah,
using it now.
yeah.
But
Well,
he
yeah,
gets
because
enough. Maybe we could
yeah,
get a sponsor or something to pay for the whatever you
yeah,
was talking. We talked to
yeah,
him.
yeah. I'm sure we could end up finding something out there. And and Rustic has been incredible. We just gotta make sure we get more people in. But
Yeah, if we get her.
I mean, we're getting them in. So if she got
Yeah,
through,
that one
it's
that
good.
that one you said Ethan was supposed to be on it wound up getting 129 views, and Mike was
Yeah,
on it, not him. So I think it
yeah,
done better with Mike. So,
yeah. Definitely. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna go grab something to eat. I didn't even do that. I came home, I sat down, I fell asleep. So, but hey, we got some awesome guests, and next week is David Stratford, and I
next
spoke
week,
with him today,
David.
and we
All
signed
right,
him up.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll talk to him and kind of prep him up.
there you go.
Tell him we ain't able to do his picture. Maybe
Yeah.
you know.
Well, we'll figure something
So he
out.
could still tell us about it and where he
Even if it's to
hunts.
the point where I gotta buy the whatever premium
Yeah,
package or whatever,
yeah. He
because I want
might
to see
have
that picture.
questions that we can answer for him. If not,
Yeah.
we
Oh yeah.
we can point him
He's got
in
a
the
lot of
right
good ones.
direction. So,
Yeah, we were talking about what I thought the Patterson Gimlin film was
yeah.
real, and
Oh
I
yeah,
told
it's
him a couple
real.
things, and
They've
oh
tried
yeah,
to debunk it and they can't. It's
nope, nope. In fact, they just had a special on it. God, I can't remember what it was, but it was a show. It was actually pretty good.
yeah, I
But I'll see
know
if I
what
can
you're
find
talking.
that.
I think uh I right after we got done last week, I normally go to network at a stream and watch
Yeah.
Monster Quest, but it wasn't on last Friday for some reason. Uh,
Oh, really?
I just
It'll
wonder
probably
if
be on
they
this
ain't
Friday.
taking a break and filming more episodes and then air
Yeah, it
more.
could be. And I'd like to have Doug and his son on too. Doug Hychak. He's
Yeah,
the one that does the production for.
I wanna,
Basically, came up with Monster
there's
Quest. That
another old boy that lives up towards Plainfield, Indiana, that I want to talk to more. He's had two encounters
there you
with
go.
dogs, and one was
Yep.
almost kind of in a suburban setting, and then
Yeah.
the other one was out in a rural area. But he's had
Well.
two of them himself and talked to other people that's had it. I want to
Yeah.
talk to him, see if we can get him on, down the road
Well,
if he
they've.
interested.
I talked to gosh, and he's going to be on the show eventually here too. Alfred Santeria, and I
Yeah.
was talking to him, and I think he was the one that said that they had actually found a dogman in Central Park that has been
Well,
seen.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
doubt it.
Yeah.
All the tunnels down there,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sewers. I mean, the sewers ain't always got sewage in it. It's mostly just
Yeah.
water.
No.
And like I said, there's this one guy I read on. I wish I could remember his name, but he thinks that they travel. He said it's like they appear out of nowhere, like Scotty
Yeah.
beamed them down. But he said, I think they have tunnel systems that they travel and use. And he mentioned the fault lines like you did too. And he
Yeah.
said they
Oh,
could be, he said they could use a tunnel, go from
yeah.
one state
Oh,
to
yeah.
another,
Yeah.
or
And
just
never be seen.
pop up out of the ground. Hello.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
Matt is going to be on. I think I don't think it's this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So we'll have a close recording. But I'm dying to have him on again. He's just
So we'll
loaded with
do it on
knowledge.
Tuesday, record it, and then you'll run it Friday.
Yeah, run it on a Friday. You and I can take the day off.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't
All right,
mind
buddy. I'm going to
doing
stop
both.
this now. And
All
thank
right,
you
brother.
guys. Appreciate it. Giggles, especially.
You have a good weekend. Good to see you.
You too.
Glad you
too.
got some jobs lined up.
Yeah.
Be safe out there. Keep your head on the swivel.
You too, brother. All right, guys.
Don't worry
Thanks
about
again.
more cryptids now with everything.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
can't
there's
believe
plenty of them coming
Iran's
out.
threatening California.
Yeah. The guy I work with said that. He's like, dude, you're going to be pissed at me, but our job's in
They
LA.
took
And
out Newsom.
I'm like, okay. And he's like, they're talking about bombing us. And I'm like, I'm thinking something else. I'm like, if they bomb us in LA. Yeah. All right, guys.
A drone, maybe. They'd have to get close with the boat, and that ain't going to happen.
No, not even close. All right, guys. We're closing the stream. Thank you. Bye.
All righty. I'll let you go, brother.